Drama continues between Dalton's mayor and the village's board of trustees after multiple members did not attend tonight's monthly meeting.
The Tiffany Henyard saga has quickly become one of the most contentious and shocking political scandals in recent memory. As the investigation into her actions continues to unravel, the public's demand for accountability has only grown louder. What was initially seen as a high-profile case involving financial mismanagement and ethical breaches has now turned into a full-blown controversy, with new revelations surfacing that have left the public stunned. Despite the overwhelming evidence against her, Henyard remains free, raising a burning question that is on everyone's mind. Why hasn't she been arrested yet? Henyard, once a prominent figure in Dalton's political scene, has seen her reputation crumble as allegations against her mount. For months, the public has watched in disbelief as more and more shady deals and questionable actions come to light. Her administration has been accused of financial mismanagement, corruption, and misconduct. The mounting evidence has only fueled suspicions that she is hiding something much bigger, yet she continues to avoid any serious legal repercussions. The question that has been hanging over her case for some time is now louder than ever. How is it possible that someone with so much damning evidence against them remains free? The situation took a shocking turn when Henyard's own lawyer turned against her in a highly explosive meeting. What was supposed to be a routine legal discussion quickly spiraled into a bombshell moment that could change the course of her entire case. In a move that stunned everyone in the room, the lawyer revealed a series of startling secrets that shed a much darker light on Henyard than anyone had ever anticipated. These revelations exposed a pattern of under-the-table deals, unethical actions, and questionable behavior that painted Henyard in a completely different light. The picture that emerged was far from the carefully crafted public image she had worked so hard to maintain. This new side of Henyard, one filled with deceit and questionable conduct, was now on full display for the public to see. The lawyer's betrayal shocked not only Henyard, but also the entire legal community and the public at large. For months, Henyard had been able to maintain her public image and avoid serious consequences. But the bombshell details revealed during the meeting exposed just how deeply the corruption ran. The lawyer's decision to speak out raised a new set of questions, the most pressing of which is, how deep does the corruption go? What has Henyard been hiding for so long? And how has she been able to keep it hidden from the public and authorities alike? The continued secrecy surrounding Henyard's actions has fueled suspicions that powerful allies may be shielding her from the legal consequences of her actions. With the mounting evidence against her, it seems nearly impossible that she could remain free unless some significant influence is at play. The question now is whether Henyard has been able to rely on a network of allies in high places to protect her, or if the system itself is simply too broken to hold her accountable for her actions. What started as a scandal involving financial mismanagement and allegations of personal misconduct has now evolved into something much more serious. The public, growing increasingly suspicious, is demanding answers. The legal system is now forced to confront a much larger issue than they initially anticipated. What was once thought to be a series of isolated incidents now appears to be part of a much larger and more troubling pattern of behavior. The revelation of Henyard's lawyer turning on her and the secrets that were exposed during the meeting have only added fuel to the fire. Henyard's refusal to address the mounting allegations or provide a clear defense has only intensified public criticism. As more and more details about her conduct come to light, it's becoming harder to ignore the possibility that her continued freedom is the result of a web of influence or corruption that stretches beyond what anyone initially believed. The public's patience is running thin, and the pressure on Henyard and the legal system is mounting. It's clear that the situation is much more complicated than anyone had initially anticipated, and the stakes have never been higher. As the investigation continues and more secrets are exposed, it seems increasingly unlikely that Henyard will be able to continue evading justice. The public's outrage is palpable, and many are now wondering if she is being protected by powerful figures who have a vested interest in keeping her in power. The pressure is building, and it's only a matter of time before the full extent of her actions is revealed to the world. With every passing day, Henyard's situation becomes more precarious, and her ability to maintain her position grows weaker. Henyard's political future now hangs in the balance. The public's demand for justice is becoming impossible to ignore, And with each new revelation, her ability to maintain control slips further away. The explosive revelations about her behavior, combined with the ongoing legal battles, have painted a troubling picture of a politician who may have been able to evade justice for far too long. As more and more secrets are laid bare, Henyard's carefully curated image is crumbling, and the truth is starting to catch up with her. The big question now is whether Henyard will be able to continue evading justice, or if the mounting evidence will finally bring her to account for her actions. With each new piece of the puzzle falling into place, it seems that the walls are closing in on her. As the public continues to demand answers and the legal system is forced to act, Henyard may soon find herself facing consequences that have long been overdue. Her time in the public eye could soon come to an end, and the question that remains is whether she can escape the consequences of her actions, or if the truth will finally catch up with her. The revelations that have come to light in recent weeks have made it clear that Henyard's actions have been far more complex and corrupt than anyone initially believed. With the public's growing frustration and the legal pressure mounting, it seems that her ability to continue avoiding justice is rapidly dwindling. The once untouchable figure may soon find herself facing the very justice she has long managed to avoid, as the scandal that has engulfed her administration reaches its boiling point. The coming weeks could prove pivotal in determining Henyard's fate, and whether her time as a public figure is finally coming to an end.
Jump and shoot. I never was on the shoot, the jump and shoot. Almost did.
Dramatic meeting in Dalton leads to even more controversy, this time over a new hire.
Not only did Mayor Tiffany Henyard make the hire without consent from the board, we're learning tonight that
The Tiffany Henyard saga has taken an even more dramatic turn, with her legal strategy raising eyebrows and igniting fierce debate. Henyard, who has already been embroiled in a series of scandals involving allegations of financial mismanagement and misconduct, has now recruited 2 criminal defense attorneys with controversial pasts to represent her. The decision to hire such high-profile and often criticized figures has only added to the intrigue surrounding her case. Despite the mounting evidence against her, Henyard continues to maintain her innocence, and her choice of legal representation has sparked intense speculation about the motives behind her decisions. One of the attorneys Henyard has enlisted is Bo Brinley, a notorious lawyer known for handling high-profile, controversial cases. Brinley is perhaps best known for his defense of R. Kelly's former manager, who faced severe allegations of illicit activities and witness tampering. While Brinley managed to secure an acquittal for his client, his defense strategies were heavily criticized for crossing ethical boundaries. Critics have accused Brinley of engaging in tactics such as coaching witnesses to lie, manipulating evidence, and bribing officials in order to secure favorable outcomes in his cases. Despite the ethical concerns surrounding his career, Brinley has continued to practice law, though his reputation remains deeply tarnished. The controversy surrounding Brinley reached its peak in September 2015, when he was hit with 21 federal charges, including conspiracy and obstruction of justice. These charges stem from 6 separate cases in which Brinley had served as a defense attorney. Prosecutors accused him of unethical behavior, such as improperly coaching witnesses and tampering with evidence. Although he was eventually cleared of all charges, the legal battle significantly damaged Brinley's standing in the legal community, and many continued to question his integrity. Despite this, Brinley's career did not come to an end, and he has remained active in defending high-profile clients, adding to the controversy surrounding Brinley. Several former clients have accused him of fraud. These clients claim they paid substantial fees for his legal services, only to receive little to no results. They allege that Brinley either mishandled their cases or abandoned them altogether, leaving them with no recourse for their legal issues. As these grievances mounted over the years, Brinley's reputation became more and more problematic. Despite these allegations, Henyard chose to hire him to represent her in her ongoing legal troubles. This decision has left many questioning why Henyard, facing serious charges, would entrust her defense to a lawyer with such a controversial past. In addition to Brinley, Henyard has also brought in Ed McDavid, another attorney with experience in handling complex cases. McDavid, while not as widely known as Brinley, has been involved in defending high-profile figures in the past. His association with Brinley only added to the skepticism surrounding Henyard's legal team. when Brinley and McDavid appeared at a public meeting in Dalton. Many expected a serious legal discussion about Henyard's mounting trouble. Instead, the meeting quickly devolved into a bizarre and confrontational spectacle that only fueled the controversy surrounding Henyard's case. Brinley, in particular, made several audacious claims during the meeting that left the audience in disbelief. Rather than providing any new insights into Henyard's defense, Brinley attempted to paint Henyard as the victim in the entire situation. He suggested that she was the target of a coordinated smear campaign orchestrated by various trustees and officials. This defense strategy was immediately criticized, with many seeing it as an attempt to deflect attention from the serious charges against Henyard. Brinley's claims were viewed by some as misleading and lacking in substance, with many questioning his motives and the accuracy of his assertions. McDavid, who supported Brinley's position, failed to provide any significant details or help clarify the key issues at hand. The meeting only deepened the mystery surrounding Henyard's case, leaving many to wonder whether her legal team was truly working in her best interest or simply trying to distract from the growing evidence against her. The aggressive defense strategy employed by Brinley and McDavid appeared to be more about shifting blame onto others than addressing the central issues surrounding Henyard's alleged misconduct. The decision to hire such controversial attorneys raises several questions about Henyard's legal strategy and the motivations behind her choice of representation. Some speculate that Henyard is relying on Brinley's reputation for securing acquittals, despite the questionable tactics he has employed in the past. Others wonder if Henyard's decision to hire such a high-profile and controversial defense team is an indication of her desperation. With the mounting evidence against her, it seems as though Henyard is willing to take extreme measures to protect herself, even if it means aligning herself with lawyers who have been criticized for unethical behavior in the past. As the legal battle continues, Henyard's defense strategy is becoming increasingly scrutinized. The more Brinley and McDavid attempt to deflect attention from the allegations against Henyard, the more their credibility is called into question. It is clear that Henyard's legal team is not shying away from using aggressive tactics to defend her, but whether these tactics will ultimately succeed remains uncertain. Public opinion is growing increasingly critical of her actions, and the evidence against her continues to mount, making it harder for her legal team to maintain the narrative they are trying to construct. The situation is growing more complex with each passing day. Henyard's choice of defense attorneys, coupled with their controversial tactics, has only added fuel to the fire. As new evidence continues to emerge, and the public's outrage continues to build, it remains to be seen whether Brinley and McDavid's aggressive approach will be enough to save Henyard from the mounting legal pressure. The public is watching closely, and the stakes could not be higher. Henyard's fate hangs in the balance, and her controversial legal team is doing everything in their power to protect her. As the saga continues to unfold, the question remains: will Henyard be able to evade justice, or will the truth finally come to light? With her controversial defense team now at the forefront of the case, the legal battle is far from over. As more and more secrets are uncovered, it seems increasingly likely that Henyard's time in the public eye may be coming to an end. The outcome of this case will likely have far-reaching implications, not only for Henyard, but for the broader legal and political systems that are currently facing intense scrutiny. The drama surrounding Henyard's defense continues to captivate the public's attention, and only time will tell whether she will ultimately face the consequences of her actions. Tiffany Henyard's time as the mayor of Dalton has been marked by a series of escalating legal and financial crises, which have placed her leadership under intense scrutiny. Once seen as a promising political figure, Henyard now finds herself embroiled in a multitude of allegations ranging from financial mismanagement and misconduct to more serious legal accusations. Despite her continued insistence on her innocence, her administration is facing increasing public outcry, with mounting evidence that calls into question her credibility and leadership abilities. The mounting issues have sparked widespread debate about her future as mayor and whether she can survive the growing storm of controversy. One of the primary areas of concern during Henyard's tenure has been the financial management of Dalton. The village has faced severe budget deficits, and Henyard's absence at recent meetings has only exacerbated the problem. During one particularly tense village board meeting, trustees discussed the municipality's financial woes, including the potential for layoffs and budget cuts. as well as discrepancies with the village's bank over missing signatures on checks totaling millions of dollars. The situation was made worse by Henyard's refusal to sign numerous checks, sparking concerns that she may have been misusing village funds. The financial crisis has been further compounded by Henyard's extravagant spending habits, which have drawn the ire of the public. Perhaps the most glaring example of Henyard's alleged wasteful spending was a 5-day trip to Austin, Texas, that cost taxpayers over $220,000. The trip included first-class flights, upscale dining, shopping sprees, and luxurious hotel accommodations. Given the dire financial state of Dalton, residents were outraged that Henyard would prioritize such lavish spending while the village was facing a significant budget deficit. Critics have raised questions about Henyard's fiscal responsibility, with many wondering if her leadership has contributed to the financial instability the town now faces. Henyard's financial mismanagement does not end with her personal expenditures. She has also been accused of failing to disclose vital spending information in violation of state transparency laws. Despite growing calls from the village board for greater accountability, Henyard has downplayed the severity of the budget gap, claiming that it is only $2 million, while some trustees believe the true deficit is much higher. This lack of transparency has only deepened the public's distrust in her leadership. Additionally, Henyard's refusal to address local business licensing issues, such as the case involving Lawrence Gardner's trucking company, has further fueled concerns that she is neglecting her duties as mayor. In response to these issues, the village trustees have taken action to curb some of the financial mismanagement under Henyard's administration. The board temporarily halted reimbursements for employee meals and travel expenses and made changes to the check signing process in an attempt to address concerns about extravagant spending. They have also issued licenses that had been previously suspended under Henyard's leadership. However, these efforts have been complicated by Henyard's continued resistance and the growing scandals surrounding her. The trustees have expressed frustration with her failure to address the village's financial crisis and have begun making decisions without her involvement. As the financial and political crises continue to escalate, Henyard's legal troubles have only added to the pressure on her administration. She is facing multiple lawsuits, including a civil case alleging sexual assault that occurred during a work trip to Las Vegas in 2024. The lawsuit, filed by a former assistant, claims that she was drugged and assaulted by a trustee, further complicating Henyard's already tarnished reputation. In addition, Henyard's close associate, Deputy Police Chief Lee Lacey, is facing serious legal charges related to federal bankruptcy fraud, further casting a shadow over Henyard's leadership. Henyard's legal defense has been led by controversial attorney Bo Brinley, known for his aggressive legal tactics in high-profile cases. Brinley's reputation has been marred by accusations of unethical practices, including witness tampering and fraud. His involvement in Henyard's case has raised serious questions about the legitimacy of her defense. Brinley has a history of defending controversial figures, such as R. Kelly's former manager, and his legal tactics have often been criticized for crossing ethical boundaries. The decision to hire Brinley has only added to the scrutiny surrounding Henyard's case, with many questioning whether his methods will be enough to salvage her political career. The legal defense strategy, led by Brinley, has been met with increasing skepticism. One of the most significant issues came when Brinley made a series of legal missteps and inaccurate claims that further complicated Henyard's case. In a public statement, Brinley claimed that the Board of Trustees lacked the authority to call meetings and had misrepresented the requirements of the Open Meetings Act. He incorrectly stated that a 10-day notice was required to cancel a meeting, which he argued meant that any cancellation could be contested if proper notice was not provided. However, the Open Meetings Act only mandates such notice when a public body changes the schedule of its regular meetings, not when it cancels a single session. This fundamental misunderstanding of the law raised immediate concerns about Brinley's ability to effectively guide Henyard's defense. The situation worsened when Brinley made the audacious claim that the board was responsible for Henyard's decision to appoint Keith Freeman as the village administrator. Brinley suggested that the board had played a direct role in Freeman's appointment. However, video evidence contradicted this assertion. The footage showed that while a motion to approve Freeman's appointment was made, it failed to gain a second, and therefore was not passed. Despite this lack of board approval, Henyard went ahead with Freeman's appointment, disregarding the board's disapproval. Brinley's attempt to shift the blame onto the board only highlighted the disarray within Henyard's defense team and raised serious questions about their commitment to addressing the real issues. Brinley also misrepresented Jason House's authority to sign checks. He claimed that House lacked the proper authority to sign checks, a statement that was quickly debunked by both legal precedents and village regulations. The Cobb County Circuit Court and the village rules clearly indicated that House was authorized to sign checks on behalf of the village. Brinley's failure to acknowledge these facts only deepened the concerns about his competence and the overall direction of Henyard's defense strategy. These legal missteps and misrepresentations have raised serious doubts about the effectiveness of Henyard's defense team. Instead of focusing on addressing the mounting legal accusations with clear and factual responses, Brinley's statements appear more focused on deflecting blame and distorting the narrative surrounding Henyard's conduct. His attempts to discredit the board and mischaracterize legal facts have only undermined the credibility of the defense team. This approach, rather than offering substantive legal arguments, seems to be an effort to distract the public from the growing body of evidence against Henyard. One of the more alarming aspects of Brinley's defense strategy is his suggestion that Henyard's personal lawyer has the power to halt certain actions, which he misleadingly presented as a potential route for her to avoid further scrutiny. This claim has only added to the confusion surrounding Henyard's legal defense, as it implies that there are legal avenues available to her that have not been properly explored or clarified. Brinley's statements further raise doubts about whether the defense team is focused on providing solid legal guidance or simply trying to mislead the public and deflect attention from the central issues at hand. As the legal and financial challenges continue to mount, Henyard's credibility has taken a significant hit. Many Dalton residents and political observers are now calling for her removal from office. The ongoing legal disputes, coupled with the growing public frustration, have painted a grim picture for Henyard's future as mayor. The financial mismanagement, legal issues, and mounting scandals have created a volatile situation that seems increasingly difficult for Henyard to navigate. Despite the mounting pressure, Henyard continues to defend her actions, arguing that she is the target of a political attack. She dismisses the allegations against her as part of a smear campaign and maintains that her critics are motivated by personal or political agendas. However, as the evidence against her grows and her legal defense team's credibility continues to erode, many are beginning to question whether her time as mayor is coming to an end. The village board has already begun taking steps to limit Henyard's authority, making decisions without her involvement and further diminishing her influence in the town. As the legal battles unfold and public discontent continues to grow, it seems increasingly likely that Henyard's tenure as mayor is nearing its conclusion. The situation in Dalton is fluid, and the outcome of Henyard's legal and political struggles will determine the future of the town. In the end, the controversy surrounding Henyard's administration serves as a cautionary tale about the consequences of poor leadership, financial mismanagement, and unethical behavior. The mounting legal and financial crises have exposed significant vulnerabilities in Henyard's leadership, and the public is demanding accountability. The stakes are higher than ever, and the outcome of this saga will not only determine Henyard's future, but could have far-reaching implications for the broader political landscape of Dalton. As the story continues to unfold, the residents of Dalton and political observers alike are left wondering whether Henyard's time as mayor is finally coming to an end.